Hi everyone, welcome to another example. You're familiar with the interface. If you are looking at this video for the first time, we have some data sources connected here. We have uploaded a file called customer segmentation. There are variable explorers and a quick navigation. And we have just typed in our query, which is on the customer segmentation table, create segments of customer based on their job title and average order value. The hope is that maybe we'll know that, okay, analysts are ordering items worth $100 every time, so we can like run ads targeting them. If that's the use case, and I go press next, the system gets to work, and you will see that it starts making observations. Of course, you by now know that it starts sequentially thinking about all the problems, and the variables start showing up on the left side. But let's really look into what's happening. So it's saying that, hey, before creating the segments based on job title and average value, I need to explore the available data to understand the structure and contents of transaction and customer demographic table. Right now, I can show you the customer demographic table and transactions tables towards the very end, but I'll start checking the first few rows from both tables to identify relevant columns. Okay, fair. And then move on to finding average order value for each customer. So it's going and saying that, okay, I'm going to look at the columns, and thereafter it goes and makes an observation saying that the table contains a customer ID, job title, and other demographic information. We can use the customer ID to join the transaction table later. Now, it's basically saying that we should check transactions table, understand its structure, particularly focusing on transaction date, because this is one half of the table, which is the demographics. The second is the transaction table. So it goes, looks at the transaction table, again runs a query for it. Of course, the query is editable. We have shown it in one of the previous examples as to what happens when you edit the query. Then it goes and makes a new observation, which is, okay, the table has necessary columns as ID and transaction date and the list price. To find the first order and its value, there's no indication of missing values. So it's basically like looking at whether there is like a null value at all. And to start with, it says that I'll find the minimum transaction date, which is like the latest one. Then the result from step one from the transaction table to get the list price, as in, so it has already queried the transaction table, so it will go and look at the order price, and then for that matter it will go on and calculate the average for customers with same job title. So it keeps on going like this. Now it's running another query here again on the transaction table, and it's basically looking at the first order date. It makes an observation again, and you get the idea. It keeps on going on and on. Now here the queries start getting complex because it's basically trying to join the first order rate, transactions, and the customer demographic table to obtain the list price and job title for the first transaction. After that, of course, like you just have to segment it by job title. So in here it does this, and then it says that we now have the list price of the first order along with the corresponding job titles for each customer. Our next title is just to aggregate it based on job titles. And then this query should be relatively again longer but straightforward. And here it goes and says that, okay, join these transactions and by title, right? Like, so you will see that it goes and says that we now have the average order value of first order for job titles. This table provides a foundation for segmenting the customers. And you can look at like some of the examples that it's showing upfront. So account coordinator is someone who's ordering 1166 as the average order value. Accountant one is 1000, in whatever the currency be. And then there's like the data row consists of segments, so it gives you the result. So you get an idea of what the system did here. What I specifically wanted to demonstrate was that it starts accounting for things like, okay, we need to clean the data if there are any null values. And then once it analyzes everything, it can actually go on and say, hey, we need to marry these two data sources in a particular way for us to make sense of the information. So that's a real quick demo. I hope you find it interesting. If you have any questions, please shoot back a message to me and I'll be there to help you out.